Welcome to SpankOdds.
Hey, Spanky here for SpankOdds. Thanks for coming around. Let's talk about some more line alerts here. We're going to talk about limit changes. Limit change alerts. So this is an important thing. As you guys know, before I talk about this, if you could point at certain sportsbooks, we have their limits. So here we have Chris side total money line, 5 dimes, 10 dimes. Pinnacle, 5, 3, and 10 on these baseball games. If you go to, let's just say, hockey, and this is a hockey, we got Pinnacle taking 10 dimes, 7,500 a total, 20 dimes on a money line. Chris is at 5, 5, and 10. I got circa 5, 5, and 10. Um, every single sport was going to have different limits. Right now, it's early in the season. So for football, Chris doesn't even have a money line up, but they're taking 2 and 1,100. Pinnacle taking a dime, and on a side total, and then a nickel. Oh, this is for Canadian football. For college football, they don't even have the line up. But you can just see different lines are for, look at this Australian football for a couple of days from now. This is for June 23rd, Chris is taking only 125 bucks. So it's important to kind of know what the limits are. I think I talked about this. A line without a limit is like a house without a neighborhood. You need to know both in order to understand the big picture. If you can have a beautiful house, but if it's in a shitty neighborhood, what's that going to do? Just like if you could have a crappy house, but it's a beautiful neighborhood, great. But you know what? The house sucks. So you want to have a good line, good neighborhood, bad line, bad neighborhood, etc. You understand the analogy. Let's go back to setting this up with limit changes. So a limit change alert, I have to do it by sport. Everything is done by sport because different alerts are for different sports. So let's just say for football, I'm going to choose, okay, for college football, NFL in this case, full game and first half for just, let's just say for just spreads and totals. I want to do this, not money lines, team totals. I get to play an audio file for a limit increase or a limit decrease, and the audio could be separate, and that's a very separate thing. And you could again justify which pick which audio you'd like to choose for each one. You could show a pop-up as well for a limit increase or decrease, and then that pop-up again, if you looked at other videos, you'll be able to know, figure out which corner of the pop-up will stay and for how many seconds. Finally, when a limit change happens, usually it happens on several games at once. I know Chris likes to increase your limits between 10:20 and 10:30 a.m. Eastern every day for baseball, and usually for college football, they'll go up every day, particularly on Thursdays when they go big. But these are things you just learn, and then you kind of know, and you can be able to set it so that the software won't keep alerting you. It'll shut up for, let's just say, 5 minutes, and it'll say, listen, won't let you know about limit changes for this sport for 5 minutes after I alert you of the first limit change. So this way you kind of not get bombarded with messages if they're doing it for multiple games at once. Lastly, you could alert me on the percentage, or you could alert yourself on the percentage of change of the limit. Anything from 0% or to not 0%, obviously if it's a little over zero, or up to 100% if the limit gets doubled, and anything in between. Usually I just keep this thing at zero, so if the limit changes at all, even if it's by $1, you kind of understand and you kind of know where the limit change happens. I'll set this. Let's just say these three guys. Not everybody publishes their limits, especially the per head joints offshore, because that's all going to depend on what the bookmaker sets it at. But for the generic parts, the generic bookmakers that are in-house bookmakers that don't do any per head or anything like that, that publicize their limits for us, we'll be able to share that with you guys, and then you'll be able to know when a limit change happens. So I just set this limit change alert. I'm happy with it, and I'm good. Anytime a limit change happens now, I'll be notified of it on those sports. Thanks so much for the time. Until next time.